All right, this card, this UFC 329 Holloway vs. McGregor card, this card was really good. I enjoyed basically almost all of it, really. I mean, you know what? There's a lot of things to get into this card. I'm just in a loss for words right now because I'm literally recording this straight off the main event, and I'm just kind of bummed out, really. But I just don't know, man. But you know what? Let's just get into every fight, the winner of every fight, how they won, give my analysis on the fight, how things got to where they are. So, with the first fight on the early prelims, it was Alexander Costa versus Cody Durden, and Costa ended up winning by submission. In the beginning of the fight, it was a little good back and forth. Cody Durden was landing some good shots. They didn't really hurt Costa too much, but like you could see Costa was like, being a little cautious at first. And then we get into like the late round one, and then Costa starts landing, some bigger shots on Durden, and he ends up cutting Durden open in late round one. And then we get to round two, they start grappling with each other. Costa takes his back, and boom, it's over, chokes him out. He taps. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, you can't really, I mean, that's how it happened. Like as soon as Costa took his back, it was over. Durden lost, got submitted, tapped out. Durden seems like a tough guy, but well, I did not see him beating a guy like Alessandro Costa. But on to the next fight. The prelims we get Ryan Ganja versus Zachary Reese. Ryan Ganja won by KO. My God, I like what I said in my prediction video for this card. Ryan Gandra's punches are literally like rockets, bro. Oh my God. When he was punching Zachary Reese, bro, you could hear the sounds. You could see like Zachary Reese's expressions, his body language, the way he was moving. Bro, I was just like, oh my, like it was just insane. Like the amount of power he has in his punches. And then he caught him with one really good jab, knocked him down, and as soon as he knocked him down, Zachary was like he was like unconscious for like a second or two. Then he woke up, and then the fight was over. The ref was like over him, called it off. It was done. Ryan Gacha won by KO. um, and then the funny part about this fight at the end, he pulled out the death note. I don't know what I'm not gonna lie, I don't understand. I mean, I guess he's an anime fan, which is cool. I like Death Note too, but to me that was just random. But like it was cool. Ryan Gandra is a up and coming UFC guy prospect. I like him a lot. A lot of power, a lot of power to his punches. I wish I could see more, but Zachary was a good opponent to have. Because Ryan Gandra, that was only his second fight in the UFC. So good opponent. I mean, it was fine fight. It was a finish. So that sounds good to me. So on to the next. We have Farad Bashra versus John Garza. This was John Garza's UFC debut. He was coming out on short notice. I mean, Garza looked okay. Before we can get to Bashra, obviously Bashra won by unanimous decision. But before we can get to Bashra, I just want to give props to John Garza just because he has a really good takedown defense. He has some decent boxing. There's a lot to fix, but he's a young fighter, only 23. It was his first fight in the UFC. He can improve a lot, but that's fine because first fight he showed off what he could do. I was impressed. I know a lot of people were impressed watching this fight, so I mean it was fine, honestly. But I think it was his first fight was a ranked opponent, which is kind of crazy. But at short notice, Ethan Ewing had to drop out. He's injured. Sadly, I'll be honest, bro. If Ethan Ewing was to fight Farid Basharat in this fight, I would take Ethan Ewing by KO. Farid Basharat is one of the most fraudish ranked fighters in the UFC. Like, bro, I do not understand how he's ranked number 15. I get he's undefeated, but he was getting reversed and his takedowns were getting stuffed by a guy who just debuted in the UFC. He's 23, only has like 7 professional fights, and this is undefeated. Like he's so fraudish, bro. I can see why Far Bashrat, bro. If this is your first impression of Far Bashrat, like in a fight, you can understand why he has no finishes in the UFC, simply because he just looks for takedowns and looks to take you down and just control you the whole entire fight. He's like a Raul Rosas Jr. kind of, where he just wants to take you down and just kind of control you for the whole entire fight, not let you get up at all. And I even tried to attempt to, exchange strikes. None of that. He wants to take you down instantly and just, control you, and that's it. Boring fighter. This guy is a fraud. I don't know how he's ranked, and I hope in his next fight he gets humbled and loses a zero because this guy sucks to me. On with the next fight, Damian Pinas versus Cesar Almeida. Now, Cesar Almeida in the beginning was giving Damian Pinas some problems a little bit with his kicks because he is a former kickboxer, and I did look it up. He has over he has around 50 something kickboxing fights, which is incredible. I mean, it makes sense why his kicks were dangerous, but I'm not gonna lie, Damian Pinas really did a good job defending those kicks. And then he ended up, he was laying some strikes at first, but then it got to the point where we already knew Damian Pinas was like, he was loading up a punch, got a clean strike on Cesar Almeida, and then knocked him down. And the best part about this was Damian Pinas could have kept on punching him, but he was waiting for the ref to stop it. Like he was just looking at the ref like, "Hey, stop the fight." Almeida was down and out basically. But good fight, good sportsmanship by Damian Pinas, and he's a good fighter. Like the power in this guy, I wouldn't say this. I mean, this is kind of a hot take, but to me, he is more power than Atiba Gautier. Like I was just in awe, like watching him fight, and just his punches were crazy, bro. Like the amount of power he holds in his fist, bro. Like it's like a bomb, boom, boom, like literally. You know, for the next fight, Wong Kong versus Tracy Cortez. Wong Kong won by decision. Tracy Cortez. I mean, in the beginning of the fight, like she was doing fine, but Wong Kong was landing a lot of vicious leg kicks. Like you could visibly see Tracy Cortez. I think it was her left leg, like red. It was kind of bruised up. Like she was feeling it, definitely. And then I mean I was obviously right about the power in her punches, bro, because she showed it in this fight. And Trish Cortez, she ended up knocking her down as well. Wong Kong knocked down Trish Cortez in the fight. Cortez got back up, but I felt like this fight in round one, you could see how this fight was going to turn out. I like Trish Cortez a lot. One of my favorite women's fighters. One of my favorite women's fighters in the UFC. But like this fight, it was just not going her way. And then the thing about it, like she could have had a comeback around three and won the fight because Wong Kong did throw an illegal knee while she was on the ground, which is you can't do that, and got a point deducted immediately. So Trish Cortez could have turned this fight around and won round three or finished her in round three, something like that. Because Wong Kong started being a little bit passive, kind of, even though she should have been more aggressive, but she didn't do that. Trish Cortez kind of let herself down. Her corner was telling her, you need to take her down. You need to do something. Take her down, start ground pound or something. But she tried, it didn't work out, and then Wong Kong won. So that's it. Next fight, Luke Riley versus Kai Kamaka the third. Now, oh my God, I'm impressed by Luke Riley a lot. He's a fantastic fighter, bro. Like this is his third UFC fight. I believe this is his third finish in the UFC. I forgot. I know he had a KO. For sure he had a KO. I forgot the guy's name who he KO'd. But Luke Riley still is 14 and 0. But yeah, that's his second finish in the UFC. Never mind. It's not his. I thought in all the fights he had in the UFC he finished all three guys he fought, but no, just second, but it's still amazing. Good fighter. He is really good boxing. He's such a quick and shifty guy. I was watching the fight against Kakamaka. Kakamaka, he was fighting back with his punches too, but Luke Riley is so fast and his boxing is really good. I mean, Kamaka has some quick jabs too, but like at the end of the day, Luke Riley got the best of him, and then he caught him with one really good jab, knocked him down. And then the crazy part, Kai Kamaka thought he was still in the fight too. Like he got up and then he was confused while the fight was stopped. He thought he was still in the fight, but Luke Riley won. And before we go into the next fight, Kaikamaka did land some pretty good leg kicks, but I'm not gonna lie, Luke Riley was unfazed by them. He got through them easily. and ended up, winning by KO or TKO. But that's it for that one. And then, oh man, Cody Garbrandt. Cody Garbrandt, man, I fan favorite. I like Cody Garbrandt. I like. I mean, I knew Adriana's boxing was good, bro, but he just like in the first in the I'm not gonna lie, like before I even get to how Adrian Yanez won in the first 15 seconds of the fight, Cody Garbrandt stunned Adrian Yanez and almost finished him. I was like, holy shit, no way, Cody Garbrandt finished Adrian Yanez, but no, he didn't. Adrian Yanez recovered pretty quickly, but that was insane. And then it took Adrian Yanez like three powerful strikes to finish Cody Garbrandt. Like he threw one, kind of hurt Cody Garbrandt, threw a second one, stunned him, and the third one obviously knocked him down, and then he was like out for the count, and he tried to get back up, but the fight was over. Like everybody says, Cody Garbrandt does this thing where like in the first 15 to 20 seconds of a fight, he looks nice, doing all his jumping around, looking good, patient, good pace. After that, 15 seconds to 20 seconds, he's done. It's over. I mean, I just don't. Cody Garbrandt, he can continue fighting for sure, but definitely a guy like not a similar archetype to Adrian Yanez. He should be fighting the next fight because Adrian Yanez, whew, he just ruined a lot of people's prediction for Cody Garbrandt winning this fight. I mean, I feel like Cody Garbrandt, he's a fan favorite. He's one of the fighters I really like a lot too. But on to the next. Hopefully, he wins the next fight. But other than that, let's go on. Now, this is a very anticipated fight. We had Gable Loophole Stevenson versus Elijah Ellison. This fight was probably the second most entertaining fight on the card. I mean, Gable Stevenson and Elijah Ellison were landing some heavy. Every shot they took, whether it was elbows, knees, kicks, punches, all every like literally what I said was like it was this fight and then Terrence McKinney fight versus King Green fight. These two fights are the most unpredictable fights you could ever predict ever in the UFC. Literally, just because you don't know what's going to happen. Honestly, both of these guys were landing huge shots. Stevenson and Ellison both were stunned multiple times throughout the fight. It ended in round one, but both of them were stunned. Like I couldn't even tell you. Every second of this fight was entertaining. It was like you didn't know what was gonna happen. Props to Ellison, he landed some heavy elbows, heavy shots, but overall, Gable Stevenson, even though he hit this guy for the right reasons, he has really good kicks. That front kick in the fight was really troubling Elijah Ellison a lot. Then he was trying to stop it, trying to land some bigger shots, but overall he couldn't, and then he ended up falling to the mat, and the fight was over. I mean, he tried his best, but Gable Stevenson, I can honestly see this guy, former NFL player, former wrestler. I mean, there was a former NFL player in the past, Austin Lane, but he didn't work out. But I feel like Gable Stevenson and Greg Hardy too. Don't forget Greg Hardy. But I feel like Gable Stevenson could honestly be, different than those two guys, the football guys transferring to UFC type of guys. But I mean, he had an impressive debut. It was a good fight. He probably would get a bonus for that fight, honestly, because that was an entertaining fight. The whole crowd was it was loud in the arena for that fight because anticipated debut and every shot that was land, every shot that was thrown was just insane. But good fight. I liked it a lot. Now, here we have the final fights of the prelims with Robert Whitaker versus Nikita Krylov. You know what? I was just impressed with Robert Whitaker. This is his first fight at light heavyweight. If you were watching the fight, he looked a lot different. Obviously, the weight changes in light heavyweight between middleweight. But usually like, there have been other guys who have transferred to middleweight, to lightweight, and they look the same. Maybe add on extra weight, but you just can't really tell that much. But Wild Worker, he looked like he looked like he was seem sluggish and slow. He was kind of slow at first, but then Nikita Krylov was trying to go for like wrestling, but he was failing because Robert Whitaker he has really good defense or takedown defense in this fight specifically. I mean, Robert Whitaker was landing the bigger shots. Nikita Krylov was getting cracked left and right. Like they would have exchanges, but Nikita Krylov can never get close enough to landing a big enough strike to do anything to Robert Whitaker. I mean, like I don't know, like round one, Whitaker took that so easily because Nikita Krylov, he tried to wrestle him, but like I don't know where Krylov's getting this from. Well, like he think he can wrestle somebody to the ground and try to finish them or something like that. Like take that out of your game, brother. Against a guy like Robert Whitaker, who's a veteran, he has a champion mindset. It's not gonna work against a guy like him. And like he walled Krylov so many times in that fight, I lost count honestly. I feel like Krylov should, stop trying for that wrestling, man. Just do what you do best and finish people on the feet. Stop trying to wrestle somebody. I mean, we had a thick Robert Whitaker, a huge Robert Whitaker, get the win in light heavyweight, and he beat a ranked opponent, which is great. Maybe Robert Whitaker could win the light heavyweight championship in the future. You never know what's going to happen in the UFC now. Anything can happen from this card, as you can see. On to the next. This fight was the most. I mean, I don't know, bro. This fight was the most random. Like I when I was watching the ending of this fight, I had no words for it. It was King Green versus Terrence McKinney, two guys who you know can finish you quick. Terrence McKinney, I think his average fight time was like 2 minutes 15, somewhere around there. But like literally almost every one of his fights are gonna be finishes, or either he gets finished or he gets the finish in less than like 2 minutes, which is crazy. And in this fight specifically, man, you know, I don't know, bro. This fight was crazy to me. Honestly, like I thought that like bro, like if you watch this fight, it's just insane. Like King Green was getting battered so bad in like the first like 3 minutes of the fight. He got taken down. I thought he was gonna get finished on the ground by Terrence McKinney after he took him down, but somehow, some miracle, King Green survived. I was like, whoa, how did he survive? That's crazy to me. He was trying to fight back. He was talking shit too. Like he was calling him a bitch. Like, yo, McKinney, you're a bitch. Like you're a bitch. Like every time I hit him, like it was just hilarious. It was a funny fight. Honestly, he escaped the takedown after over a minute just sitting there getting punched. But he was fighting back though, so the fight wasn't gonna stop there. But like I thought he was gonna get finished eventually. And then he ended up finishing Terrence McKinney with 1 second left in round one, which is insane. That's literally the closest fight I can think of, that is, of that is when Magomed Ankalaev was fighting Ion Kutalaba, and Kutalaba was had him in submission, and Magomed didn't know the time, so he tapped out 1 second. Like that's what I'm thinking of when I think about this fight. Bobby Green was ground and pounding him, and there was 1 second left, and I thought McKinney's gonna hold on, I was gonna go around two. It, but he didn't. He like the way he was defending those punches. He wasn't really defending him at all. He wasn't in a defensive sense to defend the punches. He just was taking them. I don't know, man. It was just this fight was crazy. This and the Gable Stevenson fight versus Elijah Ellison fight were the two most entertaining fights in the card. Really interesting fights. Kinky's on a 4-fight win streak too, so props for him. Terrence McKinney can come back always, bro. It's fine. King Green. I overall I just have nothing to worry for this fight, but it was a good fight. Really crazy finish, bro. But on to the next fight of the main card. We have Brandon Royval versus Loney Kavanaugh. This fight was probably, not probably, it was fight of the night. This fight was fight of the night. It was a very good fight. I mean, it was back and forth for one. There was if at the beginning of the fight, I was watching like the first 10 seconds, I noticed like there's a huge size difference between Royval and Kavanaugh, as you can see. Royval is so quick, speedy. It was going back and forth from round one, and and Royval was able to take Kavanaugh down late in round one. I mean, it was a really good fight. He took him down he took him down late round one, and then like Royval was so quick that it was kind of hard to get punches back. But it was just really good. Round one was entertaining, good, and then round two is where we get to the more action. I mean, Kavanaugh, like I said, round one was going back and forth. Round two continued going back and forth, and then Kavanaugh called off a jab, stunned him, knocked him down. He got back up, and he got back up, and he started trying to control Royval, but Royval ended up getting out of it. Like Royval recovered really quickly, which is impressive to me, because like the way the punch landed, like I thought he was like done. He's like a TKO'd, like how he did in that Menel Cap fight, basically. But no, he ended up recovering really quickly and he got out of it, and I was impressed. And then Roy Val also took him down in our late round two, so I think you could give him that round as well. I mean, you could give him that round, honestly, because he came back, but I will give Kevin all round two and then Roy Val round one. I mean, the 1-1 to me, and then round three, both got stunned each other. Kavanaugh landed a big jab and then a big strike, and then stunned Royval, and then Royval went through a big strike and then stunned Kavanaugh. So it was a back and forth, and then Royval took his back, and then Kavanaugh, he almost escaped the submission attempt. He almost escaped it, but he tried to move on to his side, his ribs and all that, try to get out of it, but he couldn't. Sadly, I had Kavanaugh winning this fight, but sadly couldn't get out of the submission. I was really impressed with Royval, and he's number four ranked for a reason, bro. This is the biggest fight of Kavanaugh's career. Luckily, Kavanaugh, he won't drop with the rankings, obviously, because he was like number six. So he'll just drop it into maybe like two spots, 3 spots, which is fine. He can always come back, and I still see him being the featherweight champion in the future. Give him like a year or two, he can always come back. And I think if they were Royval and him were to fight, I think he could beat Royval. He learned a lot in this fight, good fight overall. And Royval won by submission, I would say this is fight of the night for me. But next fight, we had Mario Batista versus Corey Sandhagen. Like I said it before in an earlier video, I believe, when Damon Blackshear fought Mario Batista, I felt like it was a robbery. I thought Damon Blackshear took 2 rounds, Mario Batista took one. It ended up being Mario Batista took all 3 rounds, which is crazy to me. And then in this fight, I feel like Corey Sandhagen got robbed, but then when you look back at the fight, it's kind of like Batista was doing a good job, but I feel like round one, Corey Sandhagen took that, like, not easily, but but I feel like it was clear enough that you could see Corey Sandhagen took round one. But I don't know. Like I thought he took round one. It was good back and forth round one. But Mario Batista did injure his leg in late round one. He was like he tried to go for like a submission attempt, like a stretch submission attempt, kind of like what Asu Amabayev did to Charles Johnson. He kind of like stretched his body. That's what he kind of try to. That's what Mario Batista tried to do to Corey Sandhagen, and he ended up injuring Corey Sandhagen's like left leg, and he saw him limping, took the advantage of it. Round two, Batista got a takedown as well. I mean, like he was just trying to damage his left leg as much as he could, but he kind of like backed off a little bit, but he tried to take him down as well. There was some grappling into this fight, and then he ended up getting to the ground. They got back up, recovered, and then Mario did. I'm not gonna lie. It was clear that Mario Batista took round three. It was clear, like he knocked him down. Corey Sagan was getting kind of sluggish and slow. Both of them are kind of a little bit gassed out, a little bit, all that moving around in the cage they were doing. But I would say that Mario Batista for sure took round three. Round two is debatable. Round one is Ghost Sandhagen for me. I thought it could have been like 2-0 Sandhagen, but no, it was 2-0 Batista, which is crazy. I think Sandhagen took round one, but to me that feels like a robbery. But I just don't know. I feel like it's not a robbery. I don't know. This fight was weird to me. I don't know. Honestly, I thought it was a robbery, but I'm just lost for words. We can move on to the co-main event. Paddy Pimblett versus Benoit Saint Denis. This might be one of the most embarrassing ways to lose. Like before the press conference, all that. Paddy Pimblett quite literally predicted. Many people predicted this fight and how it would go, and many people predicted literally that if this fight went to the ground, that Paddy Pimblett would submit BSD or just defend like his ground and pound really well. And like Paddy predicted, like fans like other people predicted, as soon as the fight started, BSD tried to throw some strikes. He didn't land any. He tried to take him down. Paddy Pimblett immediately locked him like a choke, kind of like a guillotine choke around his neck. BSD tried to roll around with Paddy. Didn't work out. Paddy Pimblett literally stuck onto him like glue and choked him out to sleep. You could literally see BSD wake up and like he didn't know where he was, and he woke up. He was on the floor, and the ref was over and trying to see if he was okay. Man, I really do feel bad for BSD here. I honestly thought he was going to win this fight by decision. He's such an aggressive, vicious fighter, but he got too aggressive there for the takedown, and Pimblett ended up submitting him. So I honestly was like, my heart was crushed. Like, damn, I feel bad because I thought, this is BSD's time to go keep on crazy. But I feel like after this loss to Paddy Pimblett, he's gonna go on and win like another 4 or 5 fights, and then end up, becoming the champion in lightweight division. I think so. Honestly. But it's Paddy Pimblett's time. Paddy Pimblett won this fight by submission. He's going to go on a run. I think he could fight. I mean, people are saying he could fight Leo Taporia. I don't see that fight happening. He could fight Justin Gaethje. Honestly, he could fight Justin Gaethje. Honestly, he could. Because Taporia, I don't think Taporia deserves a rematch. No, he does not deserve a rematch. I think someone else should fight Justin Gaethje, and then whoever wins that fight, after Taporia fights somebody, I think after that fight, then he could fight whoever wins Justin Gaethje's next fight for the lightweight belt. But I was just really surprised. I'm happy. I like both fights, but I like Paddy Pimblett a little bit more. But I had BSD winning this fight just by decision. But anything can happen in an octagon, and anything did happen. Anything and everything did happen in this card. This is a crazy card. 10 finishes in this card. Insane, man. Now we get to the biggest letdown of the year. Max Holloway versus Conor McGregor 2. I did have Max Holloway winning this fight. I'm just bummed out. I honestly thought Conor McGregor gonna put up a fight, but the problem with this fight is like, okay, so I'm just gonna break it down, like simple, straight, whatever. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. Conor McGregor went out there. His first instinct was to throw a roundhouse kick, and he landed accurately on his leg, and he blew out his knee, and it was just devastating because I watched the replay. I was okay, like when you first saw it live happening, he threw the rounds kick. I was like, okay, cool, he's coming in hot, he's aggressive. But then right after that, he slipped on the mat 3 times, and then he got back up. Like Holloway let him back up, tried to fight him, tried to throw punches, and then as he tried to fight, he was like wobbling and he was limping his leg. He blew out his knee. He couldn't fight though, and the fight was instantly called off. I mean, very disappointing. I want to see Conor McGregor. I mean, Holloway said it. There's gonna be a third fight of this. There's gonna be a trilogy to this fight. It's gonna be 3 fights for sure. Like there has to be. There's no way that they like edges like this. Edge just crazy, and then the fight just ends like this. Like it's just insane to me. That like I'm just devastated. I'm just bummed out. Regardless of allegations on Conor McGregor, I just want to see this fight happening because it's been a while since we've seen him in Octagon. I was excited for this fight, but I just don't know. I'm not mad. I just don't know what to say, bro. But we better see a rematch. These guys didn't take no damage. Conor McGregor did blow out his knee. I think it'll take a couple months, obviously, but this fight should be scheduled around, let's say, I feel like it can happen before 2027. Give me Max Holloway versus Conor McGregor 3 sometime in the winter. December, November, make it happen somehow. We want to see this fight. I want to see this fight. Everyone wants to see this fight, you know. But I feel like we don't honestly know if McGregor came into the fight injured because I was watching clips of like him walking in, like him taking off his shoes and stuff. We don't know. Didn't look like it. Obviously, in his last fight he did like break his like leg basically against Dustin Poirier. And that unless he lost that fight, I mean, but like we don't know. Like it was the same leg too. We don't know if it was a recurring injury, but he blew out his knee instantly. I mean, Max Holloway won, but like at what cost? Like even he was like pissed. He's like, what the hell? What happened? Like he was kind of mad, but he's getting paid for this, bro. So I mean, there's gonna be a third fight to this. Hope it happens soon enough. I want to see it really badly. I just feel like I got edged to the brink, to like the brink of, I don't know, man. Like everybody who was watching the fight got edged. I wanted to see this fight happen so bad. I wanted to see Conor come back and fight, but it did not happen. Sad to say, but that's gonna be the end of the video. I'm just kind of bummed out, honestly. I am excited for the next card that's happening next week. Dricus Du Plessis versus Kamaru Usman. That's a good card, but I'm just honestly bummed out because I want to see this card. To me, this is the second best card of the year behind UFC Freedom 250. But this fight's a big letdown. But overall, don't let this fight take away how good this card was. There were 10 finishes on this card, which is it's amazing. It's insane. Good card overall. A lot of surprises happen, and hopefully we can see McGregor come back healthy. His leg fully intact. Make sure he doesn't do any dumb shit like that again. Throwing a full rounds can get 37 years old. Like, what are you doing, bro? But I'm not gonna get into that. I kind of felt bad because he really wanted to fight, but so did Max too. Max always wants to fight. So sadly, gonna end it off here. It's gonna be it for the video. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. If you enjoy this type of content, like and subscribe for more. There's gonna be more content coming out. I probably will drop a video. This video is gonna come out, later, today after I wake up. Then I'll drop another video the next day. But and then predictions for the Du Plessis versus Usman fight is coming out soon too. So let's get on with it, man. Let's get on the grind. That's gonna be the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.